UFC 317 is around the corner, and that is International Fight Week. It's supposed to be the premier event every single year. Last year, we had a last-minute savior when Alex Pereira stepped in after Conor McGregor stepped out, and this year, everything's up in the air. There were rumors about DDP defending his belt against Khamzat, but he's hurt and he's out. There's only two fights that really make sense right now that could be big enough for the biggest event of the year. We have the potential of Ilya versus Islam and the potential of Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones, but there's a lot of questions around both of those. So our question becomes, who should headline International Fight Week? My name is Angelo. This is Josh Thomson, and welcome to Bad Takes. Josh, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. My hairline's intact, unlike yours, and I've been doing fantastic. I've noticed you added another chin since eating all that food over in Florida over the weekend.
Yeah, Easter was not great for my blood pressure or just general summer body, but I ate. You hang out with a bunch of immigrants all weekend. You get it.
That is no longer a dimple, my friend, on those cheeks. Those are straight up just craters, just holes. I mean, it looks like two belly button holes on each side.
You know what is annoying for me? I gain and lose weight in my face first. And anytime I don't see somebody for a while and then see them, they're always like, oh, you lost weight. And it doesn't matter. Half time it's like I gained weight. And it's like, no, you just remember me being fatter than I actually am. So then when I'm show back up, you're like, oh, you must have lost weight. Like, no, I actually gained weight. You just think it was me as 500 pounds. Am I what?
What are you? What are you? Sicilian?
No, Naples. My cousins. If I was Sicilian, I'd have hair like yours. Just Johnny, Paulie D, thick black hair. No, I'm from both sides of the family are from Naples.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, like for me, I'm half Hispanic, and so I kind of get the spare tire. It kind of just goes.
Oh, the pasta gut, even though it's not the tortilla gut.
Yeah, you know, it's tortilla gut. Yeah, it's beans and rice, baby. That's straight to the hips.
It is crazy.
Woman.
All those Europeans, skinny little arms, skinny little legs, and then just this low belly. It's like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, you know, a lot of that is they walk everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and so their legs are getting stronger, but the gut doesn't stop from the wine and the alcohol that they drink. The Europeans are known for their wine and their alcohol and whatever it is. All the sugar that's involved in that it definitely gets carried in the gut. A little bit of what I have, kind of very similar. Yeah. My face seems to stay kind of slender, unlike you.
No, my
hairline stays there, unlike yours. Completely.
I hope you have a dramatic turn at whatever the hell 50, and it's just whoop. Gone.
Turkey's touch-up, baby. Still available anytime you need. You know, they offer stem cells at CPI Stem Cells for your hairline. So if you were to inject them, it will help generate new hair growth.
All right. First of all, I don't like where this narrative is going. Okay, there's plenty of hair here.
I think there's plenty. Show should be about that. Take that hat off. Let me see.
Did it last time. It's not that bad. God. It's not that bad. Look at this.
That's not even a hairline. It's just
it's right here. It's thin. I have a tumor. Okay, and it's not fun.
You do?
I do. It's not like cancer. It's just it's a fatty tumor. Ironically enough,
a tumor. Then it's just a cyst. It's a big. It's a fatty
lipoma.
It's a lipoma. On your shoulder. That thing on your shoulder. I mean, you got take that hat off. You have such a big forehead. It's like fucking as big as Rihanna's. The fucking musician. Have you seen Rihanna's big ass forehead? Like, that's how big her shit is. Bro, it's not even like I've said this before on this show. It's not hair loss, it's facial gain. You're just gonna be all face pretty soon.
And this is a nice face to get a little more of.
You know what? I will tell you this though. You do have a cute smile.
Thank you so much.
I can see why your wife fell for you.
Actually, it was my
way
general.
Out of the coverage. She's way too good for you, by the way.
She's mean though. She's mean.
But she got to keep you in check. I've been in your house and seen how you act. I mean, a couple of drinks and all of a sudden we're all trying to calm you down. I get it.
I do get a lot of like, you're so loud. It's like, what do you want from me? And then at Easter, we're at, all the immigrants everywhere. She literally just texted me, you were so loud. And then at Easter, we've got the immigrants everywhere. And it was crazy loud. I was like, see? You see?
You're from Connecticut, right?
I'm from Connecticut. I'm the only one born in America.
Yeah, I have a buddy from Connecticut also, and Jon Atala, and he's really loud as well. Played ball at University of Connecticut, but he's loud as well, super loud. But it's just the way his voice carries. It's very much like yours. Like in comparison, my wife goes, he almost sounds like Jon Atala, like in terms of like the way you guys talk, a little bit of that machismo. It's a Connecticut thing, I think.
Very authoritative. Everything I say comes from this is a fact, whether it is or isn't.
Whether
so, yeah.
So in your mind it is. In your mind, I'm playing it off as it is a fact. Absolutely. You know what? This is a great topic, though. Let's go ahead and talk about this topic. It says, what is next or the main event should be at 317? You also brought up that it should, Islam and Topuria, but I want to throw something else out there. There might be a chance that it could be Charles Oliveira versus Topuria as well. Do you think that?
It's certainly possible, because if they're playing games with the belt, because there's rumors that Islam does not want to fight Ilya. He hasn't earned it. I'm not going to fight a 145 pounder. I'm trying to build a legacy. So it's possible they have to do some shifting and make some things happen and sort of force some matchups there if not everybody's on board.
I noticed that you said something about there is maybe a threat of stripping Islam. I don't think that's going to happen. There's going to be something that is done that's going to play ball. But here's the thing. Every single person seems to think that, look, the UFC can just throw money at the problem. We have seen with Khabib and we have seen with Islam, money is not something that drives them. They don't care. Like, they have got enough money in the lifestyle that they live to live the rest of their life, and probably 3 or 4 more times over. And that's flying on private jets, flying into Dubai, flying into Saudi Arabia. Like,
private jets. Is Islam or didn't Khabib just get kicked off like a Frontier flight?
Yeah. I was here in the States, but most of the stuff that they do over there is on private jets. So, like, bottom line is money is not something that drives them. So if the UFC is trying to throw money at the problem, it's not going to really happen with him. It doesn't push him, doesn't motivate him. They are in this for legacy. They're in this to represent Khabib's father and what his plan was. And obviously for Islam, he had a longer life expectancy of what he wanted to do in his career. Khabib was like, from the beginning, I'm going to get in, make my money, and get out. He had the Conor approach, but without the trash talk.
Yeah.
And he did that exact thing. I look at it this way. If DDP wins, or sorry, not DDP, but if JDM beats Bilal, that Islam will walk away and fight JDM next. I don't think that's going to happen. And I don't think you do either, do you?
I do not think JDM wins. Correct.
Yeah, I don't think JDM wins either. So that being said, I think they're trying to push Islam into fighting Ilya Topuria. I think he doesn't want to do it. I don't think they're going to do interim title. That's one. Islam defends the title plenty of times. He's an active fighter. He's been he's got the most title defenses at lightweight. Bottom line, how are you going to do that to him? He's also nutted up, and he fought Volk twice. And everyone's like, oh yeah, he was a 45 pounder. Well, actually, no, he weighed in at 155. And on top of that, the day they actually fought, he was 2 pounds lighter than Islam the day they fought, 176 and 178. So,
and the first fight was a fight.
Yeah, it was a fight. It was. But the bottom line is, I think when you're looking at this fight, he's like, I've done you guys a solid by fighting this guy twice. I know he kind of saved the second fight, so he stepped in and did it for me as well. But the first time, it was like, you guys wanted that fight. I stepped in. I said, okay, look, I'll go ahead and fight the guy from his first title defense. Yeah. Then he went on and fought, some more people. And now this is where we're at. I think they've got to do him a solid, man. They've got to let him wait out. And they're going to let him wait out and see exactly what happens with the JDM and Bilal fight. Once that thing settles itself, then I think you'll see what the decision is. Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall, I don't even think it's on the it should be. That should be, to be honest.
I think that's the biggest fight you could make. With Alex losing to Ankalaev, I think the biggest fight you could make right now is Jon and Aspinall. If Alex won, then you could do, Poatan versus anybody, basically. But I think that is the biggest fight you can make, and I don't think it's happening. Jon Jones doesn't seem very anxious to get in there. His demands have been wildly unreasonable given the UFC pay structure, and I don't know if they're going to be able to make that happen. So then we are not stuck with, but it is going to be the lightweight belt. We may get Alex Pereira and Ankalaev. We may get that rematch, and I don't want that. I don't think that's a good enough fight to headline International Fight Week.
No, I would agree with you, but if you backed it up with a Ilya Topuria versus Charles Oliveira, I could see that. I would definitely be down for that.
2 belts for sure.
And look, and I understand, like, Charles Oliveira's manager said, no, it's title or nothing. I'm fine with waiting. But look, in that situation, Charles is someone that will take the money. Ilya Topuria will take the money. So like, look, as long as if you're going to pay me more money to not fight for the title after you promised me I would fight for a title, but I don't see it being. And Ilya Topuria has also come out and said that it's for the it's either for the vacant title, which means that he's going to vacate Islam Will to go to 170, or it's for the undisputed title, which would be to fight Islam. So it's somewhere in that mix. I also did see that Islam had posted that he's started his camp. I saw Charles Oliveira posted that he started his camp. Ilya Topuria posted that he started his camp. So it's kind of a mix of those three guys. I think they're waiting for the dust to settle at 170.
That could be what it is, because so UFC 315 is like May 10th or something like that. International Fight Week is June 28th. So it's almost 6 weeks. So it could be like, hey, Islam, get in camp. You're fighting no matter what. You're either defending your current belt, or we will make JDM do a quick turnaround if he wins and he's not hurt. So that could be the situation where it's like, you're going to fight no matter what. There's enough time here. We've already talked to everybody involved. You're good. Get in camp. Start getting ready.
Yes, I think that if the JDM wins, that fight will get pushed out. I think it'll be Islam and him, a separate main event, probably on the following pay-per-view. They'll schedule it for that. Islam's always training, so it doesn't really make a difference. The only time he's probably not training as much is during Ramadan. The rest of the time, they for sure are training nonstop. They're always training in the morning. They do their run, or they do their lip weights, and then they come in and they do their workout, and then they do another run or lift or whatever later in the day, and then they're done for the evening. So they're always training. I'm not concerned about that. But in an ideal world for International Fight Week, I'm going to argue with you on this point, that the biggest fight they could make is not Tom Aspinall and Jon Jones. It would be Ilya Topuria and Islam Makachev.
You think that's bigger?
Absolutely, I think it's bigger. You have the whole country of Spain behind him, of Ilya, and you've trying to slay the beast, trying to slay the pound for pound #1 guy right now in the world. I mean, look, I think people have also got disconnected from Jon Jones. People that hated him are going to always hate him, and people that like him want to see him fight, and they're getting frustrated with him. Like, hey man, I've been your fan for the longest time, and you're leaving me hanging. I want to see you fight this last fight. And if you're not going to fight, leave the heavyweight title on the bench, and let's see somebody else fight. And that can start to throw some frustration, I think, for your fans. I think people are starting to check out on the Jon Jones situation.
They could be. And Jon Jones is definitely losing a lot of, I don't want to say respect, but he's definitely losing a lot of steam. He's losing a lot of support from people because, yeah, he takes forever to fight. When he does fight, people are reminded, like, Jon Jones never really moved the needle. He was never a giant pay-per-view king. He just continued to win forever, so people talk about him as being the GOAT. He's not the pay-per-view GOAT. I don't even know if he has pay-per-views in the top 10 outside.
He has DC one, not in the top 10. He's got one that broke 1 million. That was the DC fight, the second one, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only fight he ever had over 1 million pay-per-view buys.
Yeah, so he's not a pay-per-view titan by any means, but it is, you know, people just want to see that, right? We have 2 heavyweight champs. It makes no sense if they have both fought in the last year. They should have fought each other. So if I'm looking at all the champs, Pantoja is not going to move the needle for an International Fight Week. Merab is already booked. Volk just fought. Islam we talked about. Bilal we talked about. Dricus is hurt. Ankalaev, they actually might run that one back, which I do not think is headline worthy unless, like you said, we get 2 or 3 total fights on our card. Valentina Shevchenko won't move the needle. Wei Li is booked. Valentina Shevchenko again. Oh, that's pound for pound. Valentina and Juliana Pena is booked. So there's not a lot of options. The UFC's running out, and Conor is always a name people will say for no reason whatsoever. He's never fighting again. So there's really not a lot of options. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Irrelevant right now. I just saw he was trying to stoke the fire with the Chandler situation yesterday. He had put out something saying, hey, let's go ahead and revisit this to Michael Chandler. And Michael Chandler, like a true puppy dog, just fell right in line and was like, yeah, just go ahead. Your bond is your word and your word is your bond bullshit. And some, fucking great headline that, fucking someone puts out there. Just total bullshit. And, and then basically he's just going to be strung along again. Yeah. Like a good little puppy dog. Come on.
But you guys really do hate each other.
This doggy treat. Come on, let's go. That's it. I mean, I was like, when does it get to the point where your fucking manhood is just no longer there anymore? And just drop your card off. Like you lost your man card following this guy around for 2 years. Still, like I saw something the other day. Someone posted a video of like a guy totally beat up, just got his ass kicked in a fight, like Michael Chandler did in his last fight, and fucking basically goes yelling out, "Conor McGregor, I'll see you at the top," calling him out. You're like, bro, you just got fucking mollywopped. Like, what are you doing? And so, anyways,
but this feud runs deep.
You cut me deep, Shrek. You cut me real deep. I think, to be honest, this is where I believe I would like to see Islam and Ilia Topuria headline it, and then I wouldn't mind having Ankalaev and Pereira as the co-main event. Or you could have Charles not fighting unless it's for a title, is from what I understand from his manager. What's another backup fight that you could have on there though? You need to have another fight.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a ton of them, honestly. There's not a ton. If Patty does a quick turnaround, they can create some fake plot line, even though they're different weight classes between Patty and Kobe Covington. Kobe started talking shit for no reason. They might be able to maneuver some things there, different weight classes. We talked about...
but Patty's 198 right now. Did you see that video of him talking about
pounds? Yeah.
He's like, man, I just leave the States and I'm just balloon up. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Dude, you just fought 3 days ago. You're already 198. Like, that's not good for your body. That's just destruction, destroying your body. You're still young. Enjoy it now. Fucking soon you'll look like Angelo for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and you don't need that. My hips hurt. Yeah. The knees aren't great. But he and it's not all liquid. Maybe 20 pounds of it is liquid. That's 20 pounds of food is the other half of that 40. But there's not a lot of, because even at 185, the Hamzat, and actually DDP's hurt, not Hamzat, so they might give Hamzat something. They might do an interim title. It could be Hamzat versus Caio Borralho. That's a fight that they're both jarring at each other on.
Why not Imavov?
Trying to make that happen.
Imavov, why not him? He's the number one guy at that weight class. Why not him?
You're correct ranking wise, but it was definitely Hamzat and Caio Borralho that went after each other on Twitter, and they want that fight. They've trained together in the past. There's footage about that. They're both talking shit. So that's a fight that they might squeeze together for a co-main, make it an interim title.
I don't see that being for an interim title either, because you have an active champion, someone who has stepped up and fought who's who. He's been like, look, I'll fight whoever. I fought Izzy again. Yeah. He fought Izzy and then he fought, Strickland. Like he'll fight. He wants to stay active. Look,
Izzy says he wants to fight Strickland. Izzy says he wants that back. They're both coming off losses. Yep. They might throw that on that card.
Yeah, that might be a good throw on, to be honest. Just trying to help carry the weight of that card. Because if you're just going to have a fight that's a main event, maybe not a title, they will have a title there somewhere, somehow. I don't know how, but they will. I don't see them stripping. I don't see them developing an interim title for Islam's title if Belal wins. So I don't know how all that's going to shake out if Belal wins, which I think we all can agree. I think Belal is going to win this fight. Yeah. So that puts Islam in a situation where he's got to make that choice. But the fact that he had posted that, hey, I started my camp, that lets me know that he's leaning towards fighting Ilia Topuria. It all depends on how Belal wins, or it depends if Belal does win.
Well, and the, I don't want to say excuses, but the narrative out of the Islam's not going to, and actually this came from Khabib directly, Islam not fighting Ilia was he's trying to build a legacy. He wants to fight established people at this weight class. He's already fought a bunch of people who don't belong in the weight class. Now he's trying to fight people who do at the top. So it's like, okay, if that's true, fine. But Ilia has established himself as one of the best ever. He's not just some bum. And I understand Volk was a 45-pounder, but one of the best ever. So yes, you're not running through your own actual division, but the problem is lightweight is kind of a mess. You have Justin Gaethje, who, yes, he just won, but does he earn a title shot? Probably not. You have Dan Hooker, who's hurt. Dustin Poirier, who's going to be fighting Max Holloway later this year. There's not really a lot of options at lightweight. So it is either Ilia or you move up.
No, I would agree with you. There's not a lot of options.
Or Arman. I mean, Arman, they're punishing for missing weight. Like,
they're so pissed. In an ideal world, I would like to just see the fight happen. I would like to see Islam go to 70, no matter what. And I love Belal, but I've had Belal on my weighing in podcast as well. I would like to see that happen, but they're never going to do it. And I understand why. Look, you don't want to fight your friends. That's bottom line, especially people you've trained with. The respect is given. I never wanted to fight Habib. I never wanted to fight Gray Maynard. I never wanted to fight any of those guys. And when it was brought up and talked about, it puts you in a really weird, awkward position. Like, no, we're teammates. We work together. Like, I understand that. Like, that being said, like, if Belal does win, does Belal go up? I want to keep that on the table. he's been very clear about the fact that he's kind of interested in potentially going up in weight. He thinks that he can beat DDP.
No.
I think he's got a good chance.
Oof.
I think
he's not
got
that
a good
big,
chance.
dude. He's
not a super
small
tall
for
guy.
170.
Yeah, he's not a super tall guy, but man, he's got cardio for days and he can push the pace. I mean, look, in these situations, he's 38 years old. What is he like, or 37, I think, 37. Like, what are you doing? You know, like he wants to get the big money fight. What better big money fight than to try to go up and win a second title? And let's be honest, they didn't fight him for a long time, so he had to beat everybody in his weight class before he got there. He was like a John Fitch. Had John Fitch beat GSP, they would have ran the GSP fight back right away because
10 times
John, that was one. And two, John had already beat everybody else in the weight class.
Yeah.
So like with Bilal, he'd have to go back through his whole weight class again. You know, so for him to get the win over JDM, there's the Shavkat fight for sure. We'd love to see that fight, but there's that fight there. But if Bilal decides to vacate and go up, try it at 185, and that leaves Islam there to fight either Shavkat or whoever's next. Sean Brady, who's ranked ahead of Shavkat now.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, I'm looking at the rankings. Sean Brady's number 1, Shavkat's number 2, but you know, they're not going to do an interim belt, so maybe it's a title eliminator. I mean, there are a lot of weird circumstances going on in multiple divisions with injuries and different rankings, and some people are booked. International Fight Week is supposed to be like the titan of cards, and last year it was right there. Conor versus Chandler was announced. They were doing the World Press Tour, and then Conor breaks his pinky toe. But Pereira steps up. Not a great fight on paper because it was a rematch of it, but it delivered. So it ended up being a great card. I was there live. I loved it. This year we're getting down to the wire. Like there's not a ton of time left to figure out what it's going to be. So I do think you're right. There's probably a lot riding on UFC 315, which is the Bilal card.
Are you going to International Fight Week again?
I will be. Yeah.
You will be. Wow, man. You're a big spender.
I only do like one card a year. Jacob made me go to, not made me, but invited me to go to an Apex card. That was expensive. $2,500 to sit on a couch, and we split it. So it was $5,000. We split it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's $5,000 to sit on a couch. $2,500 each.
Wow. Was it nicer and more comfortable than the couch in your house?
Not more comfortable on the couch in the house, but it is definitely the best view you will ever get at fights. Period. End of story. Like you're right there, but you're not looking up.
I've had better views.
Better than a corner view. I'll tell you that right now.
Better. No, I've had better. I've been inside the cage. I've had better views.
Yeah, looking up at the ceiling.
What? No, actually, I can't take that. I take that back. My very last fight was looking up at the ceiling.
Why? Who was that?
Patrice.
Oh, was that Pitbull? Yeah.
It was the headbutt. Yeah. Fucking Big John McCarthy missed the headbutt. Yeah. And he even openly admits that he missed it. I like to give him shit all the time about it. The rule changes and all that shit. Like when the refs kind of miss their job and they don't do their job, like, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I bust everyone's balls, man. Angelo, you're not special, my friend. Look, I guess ideally what am I looking for? Ideal world. Yeah. Give me the fights that you would like to see as the main event and co-main event. Give it to me.
I think perfect world if nothing matters. Like me, nothing else is. There's no outside circumstances. I would take main event. I would do the Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall one. Let's just get that over with. I just want to see what happens, and then the co-main, because UFC does it by weight class. If there's 2 title fights, the heavier weight is the higher on the card. Then give me Islam and Ilya.
They would normally do that, but it would be a hard sell for me that they would be able to do that with Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall, given that Islam is the pound for pound king. You have the pound per pound fighter there who's defending his title, like it's, and you have a guy going up in weight, like a whole country behind him. People care more about that fight than they do Jon Jones, fighting him. What is he, fucking 50 now? I mean, he's basically,
he's not young. No, he actually is kind of young now, considering, but yeah.
Yeah, he's fighting heavyweights now. Like, that means the lack of wanting to train has gone out the door. And he's just like, let me just go up there. And
he did look less old in like some footage recently of him like hanging around. He looked a little slimmer than, because when he came out when he first came back for Cyril Gane, he looked pretty fat. It's like, Then he looked a little better when he fought Stipe. And then I just saw, and he was wearing a shirt, so whatever. But I was like, he looks pretty good. Like seems to be tightening it up. Maybe he's preparing. You have no clue with that guy. But what would your number 1 and 2 be? You shook your head at mine.
Yeah, no, my number one for International Fight Week, but it can't happen. But I would say I would go Islam into Poria. And then if John and Tom are not available, because they'd be my co-main event. If they're not available, that's fine. And I wouldn't count on them anyways. Not them, just one. I wouldn't count on Jon Jones. But I would say, Tom's been waiting around. He's ready. He's ready to go now. Yeah. If you said, hey, you're fighting this weekend, he'd be like, fuck, book my ticket. I'm here.
That's how he won the belt.
Yeah, I would say that I would like to see Izzy and Strickland again. I want to see how that would be my co-main event.
All right, listen. I left Easter at my mother's house. I took some holy water with me. I'm going to have to bless that horrible take because that's a terrible co-main event. That's an unbelievably bad.
Why?
I watched that fight. It seems like a fun fight. They're both coming off losses. Izzy can't find a win in the last 10 years.
And Izzy may get one this time. Someone's going to get, I think honestly in that fight, someone is going to get knocked out. Izzy's chin is not what it used to be. You may get knocked out again. Give me another look. I could also see some other fights, but they can't fight right now because they're already all booked. I'm giving you what I have in front of me. I mean, look, if you want to do Kai Bahalo and Chimaev, cool. I'm down with that.
That's a better co-main. That's a better co-main. Yeah.
I would go, actually, to be honest, I would go Amavov versus Chimaev first.
Fine. I'll take that too. And actually, I almost prefer that because I like Caio Borralho. He's not beating Chimaev. So let's.
You don't know that. You don't know that. Look, what's your take on Chimaev? My take is that he has no cardio past round and a half.
Correct. That's why I think DDP can beat him.
Yeah, any fighter who can stuff a takedown for a round and a half or stay off their back or off the ground for a round and a half, I think they have a really good chance. I'd give it an 80% chance of beating him.
I don't necessarily disagree, and I think Dricus beats him because he's insanely strong. He's durable. He's got cardio. He's a sloppy mess, but who cares? It doesn't seem to matter in any world. Where Caio's not a bully, and you kind of need to be just a brute type bully to get through Chimaev after weathering that early storm. And I think Caio will deal with the early storm, potentially survive, and then just pot shot his way the rest. And that's not good.
When is Kayla Harrison fighting Juliana Pena?
Isn't that it's either the co-main of 315 or the co-main of 316, which is before International Fight Week.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, that to me is a fight I could potentially see bumping up. The only factor is that Kayla Harrison probably would need more time to make the weight if you were to try to bump it up.
It's like a 2-week turnaround too, because that's that's the first week of June and this is the last week, so it's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, you can't do it, or just bump it, or just not have her fight and just move it. I mean, that to me is that to me is going to be a good fight. You're going to see the two of them get after each other on the. I think it's ended up being a stand-up one, or Kayla Harrison's going to be on top, just delivering.
100%. And people can't stand Juliana Pena, so they'll tune in. She's got the Howard Stern effect. You watch because you love her, you watch because you hate her, but you'll watch.
Do people still watch that old fuck?
Howard Stern? I don't know. My buddy's a big Howard Stern guy. He's still around. I don't know if anybody's.
Was he the guy that came out with the Dun-Duns and but he had bare ass cheeks one time or something? They brought him in in a Superman cape with a bare ass cheek.
Oh yeah, don't you?
Was that Howard Stern? Or was that Weird Al Yankovic?
That might have been Howard Stern when he was wild in the 90s. Remember that? Or the 80s? That movie Private Parts about his life.
Oh, possibly. Interesting.
He was a shock jock, and then he turned into a political pundit.
Political bullshit. Yeah.
Fucking he changed who he was fundamentally.
Bunch of garbage. He got basically the government told him to shut up or just spew our agenda. He did. He just fucking fell in line and just started spewing what they wanted. Just keep paying me. Keep paying me. That's what. Anyways, look. Okay, so you picked yours. I would go with the Imavov and Chimaev fight. I think everyone, because Chimaev sounds like he can get a visa now, I think pushing him onto the card would be fantastic. So
that's right. He's never fought in America. That'd be a big first fight in America. He's never fought in America.
Didn't he? No, he did. He had to have. He fought at the Apex when he first came into the. How did
that was Fight Island.
Are you sure?
I'm positive he's never fought in America.
I mean, this is what happens when you're.
You just say confidently, and it's true.
Yeah, this is very true. Yeah, I believe he's fought at the Apex. Yeah, I might be getting him and Kevin Holland mixed up because Kevin Holland fought so much during COVID.
And they look so similar, so I could see how that.
Yeah,
happens.
I mean, I don't.
You don't see.
They're both tall, both fighting at 185 at the time. I mean, long reaches. One can wrestle. One's got good jiu-jitsu off his back. Here, I believe Chimaev's fought in the Apex.
Okay, UFC debuts was 3 in a row. Those were all Fight Island.
Oh, were they? Then that was all I got. That's all.
Yeah, and then UFC 267 was like Singapore. Yeah, he has not fought in America.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I mean, now that Trump's in office, he'll get a visa. He'll be good to go.
Actually,
I mean, this is what happens when you're friends with a warlord over there. So you got to be cautious and careful.
Is that why he can't get into America?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, hold on. UFC 273 is the only one I don't know where it is. Hold on. Maybe he did when he beat Gilbert Burns. That's when his cardio was exposed for the first time ever.
That's after he had COVID. That's why.
That was in Florida. So he fought in Florida.
There you
go.
Damn, I was right.
Damn.
I wasn't technically
Florida's
right.
Basically
I'm gonna go ahead
another country.
I'm gonna and it's not like Connecticut where it's like a third world country though. That's true. I mean, those are our picks right there. So I'm going to go ahead and say Islam versus Topuria. To me, that's an action-packed fight. You have a whole country of Spain behind Topuria. You got Islam, obviously the whole religion of Muslims behind him. He's a huge draw as it is. People don't believe so. I know people don't like Islam, or if they don't like him, whatever it is, but the guy can sell. There's money to be made there for the UFC. They understand that he knows how to write the ticket. So moving on from that, I would go right into Imavov and Chimaev. Kai Bahalo, I like that fight as well, just so we're clear. I'm not saying your pick is really bad, but it's a medium bad. And I would throw probably Strickland and Izzy on there as well as maybe the co-main event. Are you okay with that?
The featured fight. Yeah. I think I think that's a good card. That's a good, nice, solid 3 fights in a row on the main card. The only reason I can't do Izzy co-main event is the losing streak. Like, he's lost the luster. He's never going to get back to a title, and that's fine. He still has a lot of life left. He's looked good, other than the Imavov fight. He didn't look spectacular, obviously, but he's looked pretty good. Even in the loss to DDP, his hands look better than they normally do. Like, there's still some life left there, but co-main event of what is supposed to be the biggest card of the year, I not yet, but definitely put him on that card with Sean Strickland. Feature fight, that'd be fun.
What about a Kyoji Horiguchi and Pantoja fight?
So I've been to International Fight Week the last 2 years. 2 years ago, Pantoja was the co-main event. Volkanovski was the main event, and it felt like a fun fight. It was a good card. It wasn't mega status, but it was a good fun card. I think you could throw Pantoja in there. He's another guy who doesn't really move the needle, but you can throw him on there. It is a title fight, and he's always in exciting fights.
He's always in exciting fights. I don't understand why people have a hiccup on him. Like, they don't tune in to watch him. I'm like,
they don't like the little guys.
TV when that guy fights.
No,
There's true technique. He's got the dog in him, man. Like, I love watching him fight. He's everything I love watching about fighting. Love it. So, and then Kyoji Horiguchi got power, he's speed, got good takedown defense, submission defense, all those things. But I think that'd be a fucking fantastic fight. Get the crowd.
The whole thing is International Fight Week too. Fighters from all over the world, fans from all over the world. There's the convention, there's events every day. So I don't think that's a bad number 2 slot. It's not giant pay-per-view eyes, but it is a good fight that matters, and it's not just slapped together out of nowhere.
Yeah, true. Those are our picks, ladies and gentlemen, for who we think should be the main event for 317.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts below. And that's it. Thank you.
Get the fuck out of here.